Hey everyone, I'm David Goldberg with Sarah McGoldrick, and welcome to another episode of Media Gold, a podcast by the Gold Clover Group. Today, our episode, we have a very special guest with us. Her name is Danielle Miller, and she's a realtor with the Keitner Group here in Toronto. Hi, Danielle.
Hi, David. How are you?
Hi,
Very well,
Danielle.
thanks.
Hi, Sarah. How are
I'm
you?
good.
Oh, glad to hear.
We wanted to kind of kick off a series profiling people in different industries and see how they're harnessing the power of, digital and social media to get their jobs done and how crucial it is these days. Before we jump into all that, though, did you guys watch Super Bowl or just a halftime show?
I watched the Super Bowl. I did the whole thing.
Wow. Danielle?
I quote unquote watched the Super Bowl. I was watching the Super Bowl but scrolling through social media on my phone at the same time. So I about half watched the Super Bowl.
Yeah. What did you guys think of that halftime show?
I liked it. I thought he did a great job. I mean, he could only do so much with, I'm sure, COVID protocols and everything, but I thought he did a great job.
Yeah, and I heard he wanted to go so far, he actually had to spend like several $1 million of his own money
Yeah.
to pull off some of the stunts and things that they wanted to do. So he's definitely an interesting guy that
Yeah.
weekend.
I didn't realize that the performers didn't get any money doing this. I mean, I'm sure they get a lot of money in sales and recognition, but I didn't realize they weren't getting paid at all to do the Super Bowl.
Oh wow, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Hmm.
All right, well, let's jump into our conversation here with Danielle. So Danielle, tell us about who you work for, how long you've been a realtor, and what kind of what's your focus in the market here in Toronto.
Yeah, so I've been a licensed agent for just over 3 years now. When I worked in the restaurant industry for 10 years. So when I first got my license, I had quit one of two of my restaurant jobs, and tried to for a couple months tried to do real estate while also working at a restaurant, and it just didn't really work. And then a couple months later, my restaurant actually shut down. So I took that as a sign to just give real estate a go full time. So jumped
Right.
into a full time, and around that time is actually when I met my team leader. His name's Austin Keitner. He runs the Keitner Group, and ended up joining a team just about 3 months after I was licensed. So I never really put in much effort to being a solo agent, and kind of jumped right on the opportunity to join a team when that came up. So we're a team called the Keitner Group, and our brokerage is Keller Williams, the Referred Urban office, so the downtown office. And we're actually a sub brokerage, but we're also a sub team of a larger American team called the Ben Kinney team. So there's a lot of umbrellas that we're under for sure.
Hmm.
So how does that work when it comes to marketing if you've got multi-level teams? Because I can see other organizations that might have, that might be part of a larger entity, but they want to be able to promote the work that they're doing individually.
Yeah, absolutely. So it really depends on the client that you're meeting with. If it's someone from my sphere, like a friend of mine, I'm not going to dig too deep into the Ben Kinney and the Keitner Group stuff, because they probably just care about the people that they're dealing with head on, which is the Keitner Groups. But when we've got more international clients and clients that want their properties to be marketed to a broader reach, that's where we kind of explain being a team within a team, and how we can get our marketing out and our name out to a much broader reach of potential buyers for their property.
So how did we're like a year into the pandemic now, and when it first hit, things kind of did go at a standstill, but you found that it exploded. You were just telling us before we started that things are busier than ever. How did the pandemic really affect you guys and the bottom line, if at
Yeah, so
all?
when it first hit, like last March, it really kind of slowed things down. And in certain categories, prices did drop a little bit, but the government just kept lowering. I mean, when there were rumblings of it, and it's coming to Canada and it's going to happen, is when the government kind of started lowering interest rates to keep the market afloat, and they've just been lowering them ever since last. I think it was February or March when they first lowered the benchmark rate by a lot. So they've been really driving the market. We did see a dip last spring. I even had some clients that purchased homes without even seeing them, because everyone was a lot more scared of COVID at that time.
Hmm.
So showings were very limited. We tried to do as much digital as we could. And then things started to kind of normalize, I'm sure, as everyone saw over the summertime, and things started to pick back up, and the market hit a more balanced market, more normal. And then since this last lockdown, we've definitely seen things kind of go even crazier. We're in a big sellers market now. It varies from category to category and varies based on the area, but it's definitely a seller's market across the board for sure.
How did you pivot? So you obviously had to change how you were using your social media. We'll stick to social media specifically. So how did you change when the market changed, and what are you continuing to do? What worked, and you're sort of continuing on with?
Well, yeah, our team is actually really big on our methods of lead generation. Our main ones were door knocking, which is literally when you go up to doors and you start knocking and asking people if they want to sell their homes, and open houses. So obviously, we can still door knock, but it's not really the most appropriate thing to do. So we've decided not to, and then obviously we can't do any open houses right now. So we kind of had to shift. And broaden our online lead generation. So we call them IDX leads, but they're basically people whose information we've captured because they've come to our website through various sources, be that Google AdWords or promoted ad posts on various social medias, whether that's Instagram or Facebook or anything like that. And people come to our website and they input their information, and that's where we've been capturing a lot more of our leads now. Personally, I've recently decided that I was going to start using TikTok as a means of lead generation.
Nice.
Um,
I've seen a
I
lot of
work
people do
mostly,
that.
yeah, exactly. And I saw some agents that were doing it and thought, well, I'm young, I can do that. I'm old for TikTok. I'm young in general, but I'm old for TikTok, but it's okay. So I kind of took that on as my own personal means for lead generation. I work mostly with buyers. My title on the team is the lead buyer specialist. So I work mostly with buyers and have kind of always gravitated more towards first time home buyers. And I thought, the TikTok generation, those are probably the first time home buyers of the next 5 years. So I actually just started kind of posting TikTok videos, whether it was just inside agent humor or tips. I posted one that got, I think, almost 30,000 views. That was just explaining the different benchmarks for down payments because people don't know that. And I actually, last week, I met a client a couple weeks ago on TikTok and helped them purchase their first home last week. So it's working
Wow,
so far.
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's been interesting.
So, other than TikTok, what do you think is like the most single valuable social media platform for a realtor right now?
I think whatever one you're gonna put the most effort into. I know a lot. I There's an agent that I know. She's a friend of mine as well, and she just puts so much effort into her Instagram, and she basically runs her entire business through her Instagram, and it's so inspiring to see. And that works for her because that's where she puts the most time in. And I've seen agents who put the most time into TikTok, or agents that put most of their time into Facebook. So it really depends on where you're gonna put most of your time and effort into, and money, because the
Hmm.
sponsored ads aren't cheap either.
Is it useful to have a niche in real estate to make selling, and from either just a door knocking or social perspective, or is it better to sell anything?
Yeah, I would definitely say it's important to have a niche. There's that quote that it's if you're everything to everybody, then you're nothing to anybody. And there's a lot of agents out there that will just take a listing in Markham and then help a buyer buy in Hamilton, and they're just all over the place and have no focus. And it's tough to do your job when you're all over the place. So the members of my team, we all do kind of have our own niche markets, be that geographical or a target market of people you work with, like me working with buyers. Um, but I definitely think it's important because then you can really focus on that and really learn that geographic market or learn that area that you're working in. I've got a colleague on my team. His name's Joel, and he goes by Mimico Joel because Mimico is his specialty market, and he has knocked on every single door in Mimico, probably 2 or 3 times. He knows everybody that lives there, and that's his market specialty, and he's the go-to guy in Mimico. Instead of being all over the place and having kind of no brand recognition anywhere, that's the way our team has decided to focus. So we have and we have members on our team all the way up in Newmarket. We have team members out in Hamilton. We've got buyer agents. We have listing agents. Everyone kind of has their own special focus, and it's worked for us so far.
So, a lot of people during the pandemic, well, you said like even before the pandemic, you had this, you wanted to jump to a career change from the restaurant industry. And a lot of people have been changing careers just in the last 10 or 11 months. So for anybody who's looking to get into real estate, what are some of your recommendations for people just starting out?
Yeah, I would definitely say once you're done your courses, do your research and join a brokerage that's going to give you a lot of extra education. Um, the courses that you do to get your real estate license really only cover the legalities of real estate, how to properly write offers, and the realtor code of ethics and all that stuff. But they don't actually tell you anything about how to market a home, where to find clients, how to service those clients. So joining a good brokerage that's going to have solid education, like a brokerage like Keller Williams, I would definitely recommend. And joining a team as well. Lots of agents want to give it a go on their own, but
Mm-hmm.
I thought, I feel like I made a really good decision by joining a team, because you don't, teams. You do have to split your commission with your team, but the team does pay for a lot. So a lot of those upfront expenses that you would have as a realtor are covered. And I think that's really important when you're starting out, because we are commission based and we don't make a regular salary. And if you don't work and you don't close deals, then you're not going to make any money. So being able to focus all of your time on building your database and meeting clients and servicing those clients, as opposed to spending time, deciding on a brand logo, I think are really important. So try to focus on building your database more so than, designing your for sale signs or something like that.
And you're talking about joining up with a brokerage because they help you with those upfront costs and help you with some resources, assets. Are there other like professional associations that you recommend people should look into that are really worth your time and money?
I don't know so much about associations, but there's definitely some good books that I would recommend for agents starting out. Like The Millionaire Real Estate Agent by Gary Keller is definitely a staple, and that's whether or not you're going to join a Keller Williams brokerage.
Mm-hmm.
But that's definitely a really good read. The One Thing is another really good book that Gary Keller wrote, and I've got that on my shelf right here. He wrote it with Jay Pakistan. Sell or Be Sold by Grant Cardone. Really, really great books that I would definitely suggest anyone looking to start their career look into.
Awesome. That's some good tips. Thank you.
Do you think it's valuable for a real estate agent, in addition taking the courses, to maybe take, even if it's an online marketing course?
Yeah, I would say so. It's very valuable to do that. Even just enhancing your people skills. There's a lot of real estate agents who come from the service industry, and they end up being some of the best agents because they're just really good with people. So whether it's taking marketing courses or negotiating courses, there are extra courses you can take on negotiating specifically, or showing properties and different courses. A lot of that is offered by some brokerages, and that's why I think it's super important to join a brokerage that has a lot of education. There are a lot of really good brokerages out there that don't offer education that, you can always switch to once you've kind of established yourself in the industry. But starting out, I would definitely recommend one that's going to have a lot of courses and things for you to take.
And then just kind of looking ahead the next, 5, 10 years down the road in the industry, besides TikTok, what's driving the industry forward right now? What are the biggest changes you anticipate?
Social media is huge. I think a lot of it's going to come to social media, and yeah, TikTok, like you said. We're definitely a very tech savvy industry. We can pretty much do everything besides actually showing homes. We can do digitally, even signing offers and everything like that. So I could definitely see us in the future doing a lot more virtual showings. Where we show properties to buyers via FaceTime, which we are doing now because of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Virtual walkthroughs. I would love to even see like a VR technology where you can put on those VR goggles and actually walk through a home. I
Oh
think that
yeah,
would
that'd
be
be
really
great.
cool. I could totally see that happening in the next 5 to 10 years for sure. You never even have to leave your home. It might completely eradicate real estate agents. I might be completely getting rid of my job here by saying that. But if you could just, have those VR goggles and sit at home and walk through a house, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, should we edit this part
Yeah,
out?
we might have to.
Yeah, take this part out. I'm going to become like a travel agent in the future.
I don't know if that's a good job right now either.
No, I don't think so.
Well, Danielle, thank you again so much for joining us, giving us some insight into what you do. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me. This was really cool.
And guys out there listening, hope you found these tips helpful. And as always, send us your digital marketing questions, or if you know somebody who might be a great person to talk to representing a unique industry, just get in touch with us at goldclovergroup.com or find us on social media at Gold Clover Group.
And don't forget to catch us every Wednesday wherever you listen to your podcasts.